It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and thank you for waking up with Wesley. I'm senior meteorologist Wesley Williams. Today is a new day, but a lot of the same weather. We're still seeing that typical June temperature with the heat getting us into the upper 80s, but there are some subtle changes. If you've stepped outside, you might have noticed it's muggier, and so that's what we are going to start off with. Look at those numbers. Those are the numbers indicating how the dew point has changed over the last 24 hours. And you're noticing that most of those numbers are into the plus range. No minuses, only pluses. So that means that it has turned muggier. It has not turned drier, it has turned muggier since yesterday morning. And you can see some of the reported dew point numbers across coastal Mississippi. They are showing lower and even middle 70s right along the coastline there. So as the air turns muggier, that is going to change kind of our overall weather pattern as we go into the upcoming rest of the week. And it's easy to tell that it is not as dry as it used to be, because you take a look back at this past weekend when on Saturday we had a pretty comfortable dew point in the lower 60s, so it felt relatively less humid. And even Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday of this week, a little more humid, but not terrible. But as we go to today, it's approaching that terrible range. As we get closer to the mid-70s, it's going to become really muggy. And that is a lot more moisture in the air, which makes it easier for rain showers to develop. It also does a couple of other things. It makes it harder for our overnight temperatures to cool off much. And it also makes the afternoons feel a little bit hotter, a little bit more of that summer sizzle feel in the afternoon. And on a day like today, in which we've already been seeing rain showers, I already can tell you what's happening. So, for example, in a place like Gulfport, let's zoom in on this first alert radar. Probably about 30 minutes ago, we were getting rain in parts of Gulfport, especially near Highway 90 and Highway 605 and Highway 49. Those places were probably getting some rain. Now that rain has kind of moved off a little bit more to the north and west. So places near Long Beach, near the Landon community, and near Lyman are seeing some of that rain. But here's the thing, the showers that we're seeing this morning, they are not slow movers. They are not staying put. They are moving quickly. So what happens is it's sunny, then you get some rain, and then the rain moves away and the sun comes back out. And oh boy, that activates the steam bath, right? When that sun comes out after the rain is done, and that really just makes it feel extra humid at that point in time. So the rain showers that we are seeing on the first alert radar, as we take a look at this map, obviously there's a few of them that are developing right near our Mississippi shoreline. But there are some more that are out to sea over the Gulf, and the motion on all of these is generally toward the north and west. So maybe we'll see even more of these as we go into times on Wednesday. If you zoom out even more, you'll see even more rain over Florida. That's a part of a rain disturbance there that's causing some wet weather near Florida. Now, eventually, that disturbance is going to move out into the Atlantic. But today, it's kind of stuck there because it can't go anywhere because there's a blocking high pressure system located to its north. So while it's stuck over Florida, at least down at the lower levels near the surface in the atmosphere, some of those rain showers are being drawn northwestward. They're actually being drawn toward this cool front. You see there's a low pressure system near the cool front, and low pressure almost works a little bit like a vortex or almost like a suction as far as wind currents are concerned. High pressure presses air outward. Low pressure draws air inward. And that's what's causing some of the rain and the clouds to rush toward that front, toward that low pressure in that front. That front is actually like a convergence zone where in which you can see on the back side of the front, there's drier, cooler air rolling toward the front. And in the front side of the front, there's warmer and humid air that I've already indicated on the map that's rolling toward the front. So that's where you can get kind of a convergence zone. Whereas high pressure, you have kind of an outward wind flow. Nothing rolls toward a high pressure system, it rolls away from. So you get kind of an outward circulation there. In any case, the reason, I'm just trying to explain to you why we're seeing these rain showers from a rain disturbance that's sitting over Florida. It's because they're being drawn toward that cold front. So that's when I put this into motion, you'll see these little showers from Florida that are sitting there, but then some of them just kind of get drawn our way. Now these are kind of really shallow based showers because the wind that's moving them from east to west is actually what I will call kind of downstairs in the atmosphere. Now, if you went upstairs in the atmosphere, there's actually wind coming from a different direction. And we can use our water vapor imagery, satellite imagery, to see that upstairs atmospheric current, if you will. So as we put this into motion, you definitely can't miss that circulation swirling near Florida, right? That's that upper level rain disturbance. But look at the motion on the clouds, especially on the right side of that disturbance. I'm talking about this area of clouds right here. Look at the motion on those. Are they going from north to south? I don't think so. They're going from south to north. So what's happening over there is a jet stream is above that area of the disturbance, and that's going to be the key to get this disturbance to move. That jet stream, that high level upstairs in the air wind current that is responsible for moving whole weather systems across the country and such. That's what the jet stream is. And it is what is responsible for getting weather systems from point A to point B. And right now, that weather system, that Florida rain disturbance is at point A. Point B for it will be near the North Carolina coast. It's going to take a few days to get over there. It's going to take a few days for the jet stream to kick it that way because there is, like I said, a little bit of a traffic jam because there is this blocking high pressure that's located just to the north of it right now. So that's why we don't already have this disturbance kicking away from Florida, because for now this high pressure is blocking it. So a little bit of a traffic jam and a very convoluted and complex setup. But in order to unlock that traffic jam, what's going to happen is the upper system responsible for this cool front will move eastward. That will get the high pressure out of the way, and then the disturbance can finally move on out of Dodge. So we can put the future cast of all of that happening, kind of removing all the features and just circling that rain disturbance over Florida. And you'll watch how it just kind of moves northward over the next 48 to 72 hours. Now, as long as it stays over land, we're probably not going to hear any depression or storm forming. But once the disturbance moves over the warm waters of the West Atlantic, it's expected for a surface area of low pressure to develop. And that surface area of low pressure has a low chance of becoming a depression or storm, especially if you look at the modeling. I'll make this larger on the screen for you. There is a wind circulation that might begin to tighten up with this. I think I can zoom in on this on our map. Let's get a tighter zoom. And you can see this wind circulation right here that wants to tighten up, get better defined. So if we can get the more well-defined center and a closed wind circulation, those would be the key factors necessary for the National Hurricane Center to actually call this, a system like a depression or storm. But if it never completely closes off its wind circulation, if it never actually looks that well defined with the center, then will just be a low pressure system. Either way, the good news is that it's going to be moving away from the Gulf. It's going to be moving out into the Atlantic. So it's not a tropical concern for us. And I've got even better news that over the next 7 days, there won't be any tropical concerns for the Mississippi coast. We aren't tracking any credible tropical concerns to the local area in our local 7-day forecast. Now, the forecast is always being adjusted and updated. And as far as the current information shows, we've got your rain chances at about 40 to 50% for today as well as for tomorrow. But if I give you a sneak peek at what some of the latest models are trending toward, look at this, right? You can see those hit or miss storms for Wednesday. You can see these hit or miss storms for Thursday. When I say hit or miss, that means some places get rained on and some don't. It's really difficult this time of year to tell you exactly when and exactly where these are going to happen, especially with hour by hour specificity, if that's a word. But then we can take a look at Friday and notice that the modeling not really showing much there. So it is a possibility that the models are beginning to trend toward a less wet pattern for Friday. Why would they do that? Well, we just showed you that disturbance will move away from us by Friday, and we might be able to get a break in rain chance that day. So you might be wondering, okay, well, Wesley, you clearly see the models showing a lower rain potential on Friday. Why do you still have us at 40%, the same chance as Wednesday, Thursday? And that's because this is an emerging trend. The trend is just beginning to show up. If I want to be confident enough to take your rain chances down, it's because I don't want to take them down today. Then I come back into work tomorrow and the model looks wet again for Friday, and then I put the rain chances back up. Rain chance on, rain chance off, wax on, wax off. I'd rather not do the flip-flopping on the rain chances. So in order for me to be confident enough that this is a trend that will persist in the modeling, I want to have multiple model runs to check. So I'm not going to make that adjustment now. Maybe the afternoon crew will. If not, then when I come in tomorrow and I check the models, if they are still showing that trend of less wet weather for Friday, then I'll make that rain chance adjustment. The hints are already in the temperature details. When you look at the temperatures, you're seeing those numbers climbing, right? Today and tomorrow, mid to upper 80s for the most part. But then even on the coast, we're going to see temps near 90 on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. Maybe if it's hotter, that might be a sign that there might be fewer rain showers, right? So it's something to watch, something to monitor as the forecast continues to get updated and adjusted as we learn more information about what to expect here in South Mississippi. So hopefully you are ready with your umbrella for any of your Thursday plans as you head out the door this morning. Like we said, it's already been raining in some places and the rain chances are increasing as rain is easier to come by as we tap into higher moisture content from the Gulf and a few quick passing showers from that nearby Florida disturbance, at least into today and probably even less into parts of tomorrow. Well, that'll do it for this Wednesday edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Thank you so much for watching and take care. We'll see you again next time.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
Okay, I flipped the switch.